Assalamualaikum and hi there. My name is Danish O, and today I will be talking about why everyone should be creative in life. Pay attention to these names: Thomas Edison, Isaac Newton, Walt Disney, Albert Einstein, Steve Jobs, Marie Curie, and Leonardo da Vinci. So, what do these people have in common? You might say they are individuals who excel at their respective fields, which is also correct, but these people from different eras are actually highly creative individuals. In the 14th century, Leonardo da Vinci was not just merely a painter, but he was also an inventor, a sculptor, an architect, scientist, writer, mathematician, anatomist, and an engineer in his time. In the 18th century, we have Thomas Edison, which also has a collection of more than 1,000 inventions, flaunting his splendid degree of creativity. And in modern times, there is Steve Jobs, who revolutionized the aesthetics of electronic devices. So, what will this topic be about? To put it simply, I'm going to elaborate why everyone should be creative in their lives by highlighting some of the benefits of honing our sense of creativity. After doing my research regarding this topic and critical observation of the lifestyle of creative individuals, I am strongly convinced that creativity should be a part of our daily lives and not merely as a skill for a particular art. As an audience, I hope all of you will accept my speech with an open mind, as in my opinion, creative thinking is not just a skill, but also a mindset and a way of life where we can have multiple alternative methods to approach life that will benefit us in its own unique ways, such as allowing us to be confident and embrace our identity, improve problem-solving skills, and enhancing our health and well-being. So, before I elaborate on this, have you ever thought that creative thinking can allow us to be more confident in ourselves and embrace our identity? Tom Kelly, the best-selling author of Creative Confidence, once mentioned that confidence is a part of creativity that often gets ignored. Nonetheless, confidence is the stepping stone for creative exploration and insights. Most potentially creative people do not think creatively or produce creative art, as they may lack the creative confidence necessary to do their work, rather than lacking the skill itself. We think to ourselves, I can't paint a painting, therefore I'm not a painter, or similar thoughts. We end up walking our own talk. We don't think we can paint, hence we do not paint, which ensures we do not become a painter. And according to the founder of the global design and innovation company IDEO, David Kelly, an essential part of creativity is to fake it till you make it. Belief is the key concept in being responsive towards changes, which pushes us to be better, whether in terms of confidence or creative performance. This concept is almost like a positive feedback mechanism. This whole confidence creating creativity belief will be gone once we take the first step, which is to think creatively. Once that is done, the concept that I have explained for the past few minutes just now will invert itself, now forming a creativity creating confidence belief. Because if you once truly think that you need confidence to think creatively, once you are a few steps in the world of creativity, logically that way of thinking should not be valid anymore. Hence, you can continue to be as creative as you want. Nothing is stopping you, and that, in a way, boosts your confidence. Besides that, everyone here has their own unique perception, which also differs from one another. The embracing of the variance in perspectives allow us not to be ashamed of being proud and represent our own identity. Creative thinking prevents us from developing a template-like thought process, which self-destructs the independence of thoughts and encourages us to think alike the trend. So, in order for us to become our best self, we must embrace our own uniqueness and creative thinking. It may be the ingredients needed to bake a, love your own identity cake. Apart from that, let's take a look on how creativity improves problem-solving skills in a unique approach. Even the difference in a small aspect may catalogue itself as something new in this world, leading to a possible new discovery every time we flourish our creativity. According to Moran, Thomas Edison had invented more than 1,000 patents throughout his life. We all know who Thomas Edison is. Come on, we heard of him ever since we were a child. He is also known as the father of invention, the man who invented the light bulb. Did you know that besides the incandescent light bulb, Edison also invented the telephone, the telegraph, phonograph, dynamo, and even the electrical railroad? Here we can see that Edison invented a lot of appliances which are electrical based. These inventions were created to solve its respective existing issue at the time. Using Edison as an example, I would like to emphasize that creative thinking assists our problem-solving skills in a unique approach. We may know how to solve a problem by a particular method, as we were taught, as every other people know. But when we plug creative thinking into the equation, we are free to explore an infinite number of ways to solve that particular problem. Einstein once said, "Logic will get you from A to B, while imagination will take you everywhere." By creative thinking or trial and error, we might intentionally or accidentally find a new method that may have never been discovered before. And as Edison once said, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Next, creative thinking may act as an improvisation to the existing methods in problem solving in various aspects. According to the Annus Mirabilis papers in 1915, Albert Einstein proposed his theory of general relativity, which challenged Isaac Newton. Einstein argued that Newton was wrong about what the force of gravity actually moves. This theory of general relativity has been proven correct and have been the fundamentals of understanding gravitational effects and black holes, modern astrophysics, and much more. This incident can teach us that no matter how fixated we are on a single solution for a particular problem, there can always be another method to solve the problem, if not better and easier. So, due to Einstein's hard work and curiosity, fostered by his creative imagination, we now live in a world which are shaped by the physical mechanics which exist because of the theory of relativity. This is why, although there are a few verified solutions for problem solving, you still should think creatively because you never know what you might find out. So, if your mind is still not provoked by now, please notice that creativity improves our health in many, I repeat, many angles. Did you ever hear of the flow? It is a state when someone is completely immersed in whatever the person is doing. Have you ever found yourself so focused on a single task or assignment that you lost track of the time that ticked by? That is flow. That state reduces your anxiety levels, improves your mood, and regulates your heart rate. It can be said that being in the zone or the flow improves your health or mood to a certain degree. Shelley Carson, a Harvard psychologist, also mentions that repetitive creative motions like drawing or writing can activate that flow state. After creating a product or a result, your brain will be abundant with dopamine, a neurochemical which lets you feel pleasure. This biological phenomenon will drive and influence you to maintain the same behavior, which is to create, by generously rewarding you with feel-good signals. Next, creative thinking can also improve the conditions of patients with dementia. A research was conducted in 2006 to study the theory of cognition as a base for human life, including the elderly and dementia patients. So, a group of elderly and patients with severe dementia was instructed to engage in creative and art therapy over a certain period of time. The results have shown that creative thinking reduces the feeling of depression and isolation while empowering their decision-making skills. The elderly and the dementia patients made the choice to creatively make art to define their perception and feelings for aesthetical matters. Besides that, according to Petrie, creative thinking significantly showed improvements in the immune system. A study was conducted to determine whether creative writing could affect CD4+ lymphocyte count and the human immunodeficiency virus, also known as HIV, viral load among patients with HIV. CD4+ lymphocyte is an immune cell which fights infection in the human body. So, 37 HIV patients were randomly allocated to creative writing or controlled writing for 4 days, half an hour each day. The CD4+ lymphocyte count and HIV viral load were measured at the baseline 2 weeks, 3 months, and 6 months after writing. The results showed that in the group which wrote creatively had an increased CD4 plus lymphocyte count, which means that the HIV viral load also plummeted. This study had proven that creative thinking and activities significantly improves our immune system, as the number of immune soldiers, which is the CD4 plus lymphocytes, had amplified over the given period of time. Last but not least, creative thinking undoubtedly makes you smarter. Studies have shown that people who play musical instruments have larger corpus callosum, which is a large bundle of fibers connecting the left and right hemispheres of the brain. The left brain is known to be responsible for motor functions, which focuses more on the logical and calculative aspects, while the right brain focuses on artistic functions such as creativity, and melody. As the two hemispheres of the brain communicate with each other, cognitive function will ameliorate. In 1967, neuroscientist Roger Sperry managed to reduce seizures in epilepsy patients after discovering the Sperry theory, which states that cognitive function improves when both hemispheres of the brain interact with each other. I am sure everyone here would like to have better health and well-being, and as I said earlier, every problem can have alternative solutions that you might not ever thought of. In this case, who would ever think that just by thinking creatively, you can also enhance your physical and mental health, rather than the usual workouts that we do. So, might as well consider this an alternative workout routine to keep ourselves in the pink of health. Ladies and gentlemen, before you return to whatever you were doing before this, I would conclude that developing creative thinking in life opens doors to more unexplored opportunities. Everyone should try to be creative in any aspects of their life, as it is also a form of growth, where you face the unknown every day and get to know yourself better. You will discover your potential. So ask yourself, do you want to be a step closer to be successful in life? Be creative. Do things differently. Do not be afraid to try. We cannot solve our problems with the same mindset that we use to create the problem itself. And if there is only one phrase in my whole entire speech that I want you to embed in your heart forever, it is that please do not be afraid to be creative. Do not be afraid of the unknown. The creative adult at the present is the child that survived. So, take a pause from everything in your daily life. Just think to yourself, what will happen if you try to be creative and do something differently? And what will happen from there? It's up to you to find out. Thank you.